right, just relax, take a deep breath. Remember, we are stretching, we are not doing yoga, so we're gonna have a little bit of work to do. So go ahead and put your heels on the floor. Knees are bent. We'll just start with some windshield wipers. So take your knees to one side. As you do that, take your shoulders, pull them down towards the floor, and then work them away from your ears so you have a nice long neck and you have those shoulder blades slightly pinched. As you inhale, get your spine nice and long. When you exhale, gently press your belly button and lower back to the floor. Doesn't have to go all the way in, just kind of get awareness. So breathe, expand, stretch through the spine, and then exhale, firm up through the abdominals and low back. Oops, I forgot. Take your wiper to the other side. Guess we'll hold here for a while. And you can focus on the opposite shoulder staying down. So now we're going to carry that windshield wiper back and forth. So we're going to take it slowly to one side until those knees touch the ground, keeping the opposite shoulder down. You're going to push it down as far as you can. And then you're gently going to come right back up and over. So as you're pushing it downward, you're continuing to push and then come back up. So there's not going to be a whole resting point yet. Just going to be moving that lower back through the range of motion. Pushing the opposite shoulder down as the knees go across. And when you get to the top after this one, go ahead and pull your knees into your chest. Keep the hands light. Think of rotating your spine and pulling your tailbone back towards your chest gently. And then as we bring those feet back down to the floor, reset your posture with your shoulders away from your ears. And very gently, we're going to take a light bridge. So you're just going to lift the hips up. You're not going to focus on squeezing or doing anything crazy. You're just going to go up and then right back down. So it's just going to be very light. We're going to do 5 of these just to get it loosened up before we concentrate on it. So these are just going to be easy ones. Don't make things harder than they need to be. And then just 2 more. Just get your body used to moving. And this being number 5, we are going to take it down and hold. And this time we're going to focus on really pushing the heels into the floor as we bring that bridge upward. So push the heels in, get your glutes to engage, get your hamstrings too. At the very top, push those hips to the ceiling, squeeze your lower back. And then we're going to lower it slowly, letting everything relax as you go down. So you've got a lot of thinking on the way up. So push through the heels down, get the glutes and hamstrings. As you start to feel those hips stretch, press them to the ceiling, squeeze the lower back and the abs and hold for a moment. Then let it all relax down. And again, getting those glutes to work with the heels pressing inward. Maybe even a little bit higher, more stretch. And down slowly. Then we're going to take one leg and extend it in front of you. And we're just going to lift and lower. So we're going to lift as far as you can that feels comfortable and put it back down. We're going to do 5 of these. So nice and slowly, still thinking of that stretch as it pulls back a little further. But you're not forcing it. You're exhaling as it comes up. allowing that muscle to extend a little more towards the ceiling. Last one. And as we bring it all the way back down, hold for a moment. Just keep it straight and hold. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, extend that heel away from your body. Think about your leg being pulled out away from your hip. And then relax. Take a few breaths in. Bring that leg back to the heel on the floor. Reset your posture. Push your lower back gently into the floor and extend the other leg. And same thing, gentle raises for 5. So taking it up, exhaling as you go. As you move through the range of motion, it will loosen a little bit. Just don't force it. Exhale as you come up. You do have to think about that leg moving back a little bit more, but again, not forcing it. Last one here. Then bring it down all the way. Let it relax. Then extend that leg away from your hip. Think about pushing the entire leg towards the wall. Go ahead and bring that heel up right next to the other one. And we're going to windshield wipe for 4, which is really 2 because this side is 1, this side is 2. Pressing it all the way down. And then we'll hit 3 and 4 here. And after we get this last one, we'll come back to the center. And you're going to slowly push that lower back into the ground. I want you to really focus on the tailbone going towards the ceiling. Then relax. Inhale. Exhale, press the lower back. Pressing the belly button and lower abs to the floor and holding. We're going to get 2 more like that. So breath in. Exhale. Begin from those lower abs and press into the floor. Tailbone comes up slightly. And then one more time. Then back to neutral. We're going to grab the blocks. Go ahead and put them between your thighs or your knees, whichever is most comfortable, so that the block is the short way. So you have just a little bit of separation between the legs. We're going to reset that posture as always, shoulders away from the ears. And you're going to draw your belly button into your chest. Push that lower back down like you would for your pelvic tilt. And then we're going to bring the legs into the air. So they can be bent close to your chest, wherever is comfortable. And from here, extend the legs. Bring them back in. Now, if they don't want to stay straight up, if they want to angle down a little bit, that's fine. Extend the legs, bring it back in. The goal here is just to get your legs straight, to get that hamstring and your thighs stretched and warm. We're going to go 2 more. Continue to keep your lower back pressed into the floor as much as you can. One more time. And then as we bring those heels back down to your butt, legs are still in the air. Take your arms out to the side. And allow the legs to fall over to one side and hold. And if they don't touch the floor, that's okay. Just make sure the opposite arm stays on the floor, the opposite shoulder stays down. Then we're going to tighten those abdominals a little bit, bring it back up to the center. Hold for a moment here as we press that lower back into the floor and engage the lower abs. Inhale. And exhale to the other side. So you're only going to allow those legs to go as far as they can while keeping that opposite shoulder on the floor. And keeping those abs tight, bring it back to the top. Go ahead and grab that block and put it underneath your feet. You might have to stick it under your butt and then use your feet to move it away from you a little bit, because we are going to put the heels on top. Get a little more warm up through those hamstrings. So once you have the block there, your feet can either be together or they can be apart, whatever's comfortable. But you want the heels on top of the block. So make sure those heels are on top and the knees are bent. So setting your upper body posture, pulling those shoulders back and down. Now we focus on the bridge. So push the heels into the block, lift up, pressing the hips to the ceiling, squeezing the lower back, and then relaxing and letting it all fall back to the ground. So as we push through the heels, we should engage more of the hamstrings. So go ahead and push, lift. Try to feel the back of the thighs. And you're still going to get that lower back and hip stretch at the top, and down slowly. And then we'll go for 2 more. So engage the abs, push through the heels, feel those hamstrings, then stretch the hips and lower back, and lower slowly. And then we'll go 1 more time. And as you lower all the way down, hold for a moment. And this time we're going to take that block between your feet. And it's going to be long ways. So now we're going to take it long ways between the thighs. So you're going to have more distance between the thighs with the block this time. First time we had a little bit, now we've got more. So you're just gently holding them, not to squeeze. Take your lower back, press it down, push your tailbone to the ceiling. Engage the lower abs and just hold. Now release. It's a very small movement. You're just going to inhale, and as you exhale, take those lower abs beneath the belly button, press them into the floor, and hold. Good. Then keep it half tilted, so not completely relaxed and not completely into that pelvic tilt, and take your knees down, and then push through the heels, extend, and bring them down. Keep your back pressed into the floor. We have 4 of these, pushing the heels to the ceiling, stretch through those hamstrings and inner thigh. You're going to feel some abs working too. And then we get 1 more. And down. Then we're going to lower the feet, taking the block out. Go ahead and set it to the side. And cross one leg over the other and let them both fall to one side. Keeping that opposite shoulder down. We're going to slowly rotate those hips to the other side, keeping the shoulders down. As we come back to the top, I'm kind of hoping that your straps are close by. If they're not, don't worry about it. Mine aren't. Anyways, so let's just take the arms straight overhead. If the straps are near you, you can grab them. If not, just take your arms overhead. And then we're going to let those legs fall to one side again. You just want to have those arms extended so they have to work a little harder to stay down. A little deeper stretch from the hip. And then keeping the arms there, rotate the legs to the other side. So with the arms overhead, should be a little bit more stretch when you push those shoulders to the floor and try to keep them down. And as we come back up to the top, uncross that leg, bring the arms back down so they're out to the side now. Take your other leg on top. And use your breath. Inhale, exhale, let it fall to one side and hold. And then keeping your body position and just moving the hips to the other side. And then as we bring that one back up to the top, keep your legs there, take those arms overhead. If you cannot keep the shoulders down, then just bring the arms closer to the side. Otherwise, take your breath in, exhale, let those legs go one way. Remember that hip goes all the way up towards your shoulder, since it's all connected. We're going to take everything to the other side. Keep those shoulders down. Just take it over slowly. Keep using your breathing just to help everything relax. If something feels like it's tensing, then you have to back off. So we're going to return to the top now. Bring those arms into your side. Take your lower back and go ahead and press it gently down for a couple of reps. So hold for a few seconds. Release. Do it again. And release. And then we're going to take it onto your stomach. So go ahead and roll onto your side. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's just stay on your side now that I think about it, because we can do our pretzel stretch. So on your side, if you want to use the block, you can grab it. If you don't have to. But it would be in front of you, and your top leg would be the one resting on top of the block, obviously. Or not on the block. You can also use the block under your head if you prefer. All right, so we're going to bring one arm up. And very slowly, we're going to let it fall over. So you can keep the arm straight out to the side. If that's too much, then just bring it down closer to your body or closer to your butt, or even rest it on your hip and just focus on the elbow pointing towards the ground. So there's a lot of different ways to make this the way you want it to be, but where you're getting through that lower back. And as we bring that back up, we're just going to bring it in. And we'll see how your quadricep does first thing in the morning. Let's bring that lower heel up. That might be sufficient. You might even use your strap if you want. Otherwise, try to grab something with your fingers. So we're either going to get a quad stretch, or you're just going to hold it in that position. Now, if you need a deeper stretch, it's important to keep your shoulders and hips stacked like they are, and just move your thigh back about an inch, no more. And we're going to allow that leg to straighten. Make sure your body is nicely aligned. We're not leaning one way or the other. And then taking that arm up and either opening it up or placing the hand on your hip and pushing the elbow towards the ground. So no matter what you're doing with the arm, your body's just trying to roll, your upper body's trying to roll to one side while the lower body stays put. And then as we bring it back in, Make sure our body's not leaning back anymore. It's nice and stacked because sometimes that leg moves. Take that lower leg, bring it to your butt. So either you're just holding it here and kind of moving your knee back a little bit, or you're doing that and grabbing the foot. Now this time, not only do we have a little bit of that movement for the upper thigh, but we can also think about very, very gently pushing the leg towards the floor. So we have a little bit of rotation in that upper thigh we can get. If that's not comfortable, don't do it. But remember, your leg rotates in and out, and this would be a stretch for that. It doesn't just go up and down. All right, as we bring that back into neutral, you're going to extend that leg and bring the block towards your face. Because I want your block by your head and roll onto your stomach. Trust me, there's a reason. But you don't need to have it too close, you just want it inside. So from here we can rest our chins on our hands. And we're just very slowly going to lift one leg. So we're going to keep the hips on the floor. You're going to lift one leg about 1 inch or 2 off the floor, squeeze the lower back, and then pull those abdominal muscles in, and then put it down. So take the other side, exhale and lift. You know how to squeeze the lower back, but now squeeze the abdominals in. Pull the belly button and lower abs right on into that spine. Completely different feeling. Relax down. Other leg is up as you exhale. Squeeze through those abs. Really connect them to that lower back. And then down. Other side. So same thing. Lift a little bit, then squeeze everything. And relax. Taking your arms out, you can place them on top of the block. You're going to have the hands on top of the block. Elbows are out to the side, like the side of the mat. You're going to have to look at your mat to keep your neck nice and neutral. And we're going to keep the hands on the block and then just lift the elbows slightly off the block, or off the floor, sorry. And then lower. So depending on your shoulder flexibility, this could be very easy or very hard. So lift the elbows up. As you do that, squeeze the shoulder blade down towards your hips. Then relax. We're going to go for 2 more of those. So neutral neck, lift the elbows upward, squeeze the lower back downward and upper back downward. Release, and we'll get 1 more. So inhale, exhale, elbows up, squeeze that upper back, and relax it down. And then we're going to continue on to your other side. So take that block, put it on the other side of you, roll onto the other side, place that block. If you used it on this one, place it under that leg. If you used it under your head, that's fine. So once you get set, you want to have the shoulders stacked over the hips, so your body is a nice straight line. Then we're going to take that top arm up. And just remember, it depends on what feels good. So the arm can go straight back. You can change any direction down low. You can even just put it on the hip and push the elbow down. Your sides are not going to be the same, so one's going to be easier in certain positions. Speaking of which, we'll take it back up to the top and take that lower leg and bend it. And then either move the thigh back a little bit and hold, or try to grab your foot. Let's be grateful we only have 2 sides to do this on. So let that release. Reset your posture so that your shoulders and hips are stacked. We tend to move when we do this. And then take that top arm, open it up behind you, or place it on the hip, whichever is most comfortable. But your goal is to keep your lower body in one spot as the upper body slowly rotates away from it. And as we bring that back up to the top, reset, make sure you didn't move too much. Bringing that arm down, grabbing that lower leg, or pushing that lower leg back first. You gotta get that heel to your butt first. Then you can grab the foot if you haven't already. And this time while we hold, you can gently press the foot towards the floor. If that rotation, internal rotation or external rotation isn't good for you, then don't do it. These are some very vocal ducks, aren't they? Let that leg relax. Or maybe they're pigeons feeling our pain. You're going to roll over onto your stomach. And from here, bring those hands close or elbows close to your chest. Take a deep breath and move those elbows back a little more. Squeeze your shoulder blades down away from your ears. And you're going to keep those arms down and gently lift up slightly. You're not going to come very far. But I want you to focus on lifting the chest and pulling the shoulders down at the same time. So squeezing through that lower back and mid back. Then bring it down slightly. Take your breath in. Exhale very slowly, pushing the shoulders away from the ears. And then just lifting slightly and holding, squeezing through the upper back. And then as you release, you're going to press back onto your hands and knees. All the way back. Let your lower back relax as you press your butt into your heels. Gently push those arms away. And then as we come halfway up for something normal, we're going to do some cats and cows. So go ahead and set your shoulders and elbows in line. And we're going to lift the chest and the tailbone for your cow. And then as you inhale, we'll exhale. We'll still pull those shoulders away from the ears, but press the spine to the ceiling. Slowly back to the cow, pulling those shoulders away, squeezing the upper back muscles as you lift the chest and tailbone. And then on your next exhale, we're doing the cat, pushing it out, exhaling as we go up, holding for a breath or two. And then slowly bringing it back to neutral. Sitting back one more time, pushing your butt back to your heels, either keeping the elbows close to your knees or extending them out, whichever you prefer. And then as we come back to neutral, point your toes to the floor, put your hands underneath you, and we're going to do some calf stretches. So we're basically going to lift and, oh sorry, We're gonna lift the knees off the floor, and then we're gonna just alternate the heels into the floor to stretch the calves. So get wherever you need to be. Your hands might be far away, they might be close, it's up to your flexibility. Press one heel down as the other one stays up, and then do the other side. And then switch back, holding for a while, then switch sides. And then switch. We need to get 4 of these, this is 3. Switch legs if you haven't already. Then 1 more each side. Getting the last side. And then as we bend those knees and bring them back down to the floor, you're going to walk your hands forward, coming down slowly, reverse cobra. And then pull your shoulders away from your ears, pinch your shoulder blades, and then drag that belly button across the floor. You can do a mini cobra or a full cobra, but whatever you want to do, you want to keep those shoulders down and stretch through the abdominals. And then we'll take it down and do it again. Keeping those shoulders away from the ears, stretching whatever position feels best. And then coming down gently. Push back onto the heels. So on the floor, on your back. Doesn't matter which way you're laying because we are going to finish on the back. But once you lay down, allow your lower back to press into the floor a few times. So a little bit of a pelvic tilt if you want to think of that, or just pressing those lower abs down. Just let it stretch a little bit. All right, so I want you to take one leg in the air. And then you know what I want you to do? You're not going to start with that leg, you're going to start with the other leg. So put that leg down, put your other leg with the strap in the air. Because whichever leg you put up first was probably the easier one. We always do it. So we're tricking it, we're getting smart. That way, our last leg will be the easy one. So right here, we're just gonna hold. Now remember, when we're holding the strap, arms want to be relaxed. All right, so the strap helps you hold the leg in certain positions. Now your other leg's gonna do a little work on this one. So your other foot, you have the heel pressed into the ground. So we're going to take a deep breath, and as we exhale and pull this leg back, we're actually going to press gently the other leg into the ground. All right, so as one leg comes back, the other heel is gently pressed into the ground. Do not use your full strength. We don't want to fatigue it. We just want to use it for some leverage and help that leg pull back. Just hold, then relax that leg that's on the floor. So now we're going to hold in that max position. So we just used a little bit of leverage of your opposite leg to push this leg back a little further. So we're holding it. And then we're going to slowly let it come down halfway. And as we bring it back up, we're pushing the lower back into the floor, tilting your tailbone to the ceiling, walking the hands up the strap, getting to where you can. Then, using the leg that's on the floor to press the heel down a little bit, get some leverage, pull that leg back a little further, and then let the leg that's on the floor relax. So you just use it temporarily to pull that leg into a further position. And hold and breathe. It should be, a pretty big difference. and you should be able to pull back maybe just a little more while you're holding it. Now remember, the leg that's on the floor is relaxed. It's not doing work anymore. And then as you exhale, each exhale, you're pulling back a little more. And we're just going to hold for what's going to seem like a long time. And then we're going to let it go out to the side. Nice and slowly, gently, guiding it with your strap. Getting it wherever you can. Opposite arm or opposite shoulder needs to be on the ground. Your hips should also be on the ground. We do not want to be rolling over. And then we're going to bend that knee. Bring it back in. Hold that leg up. Swap the legs out. So on this one, it's just normal first. We just pull that leg back to wherever we can and just hold. And then as we push that lower back into the ground, we're going to use that opposite leg to press the heel gently into the floor, get a little bit of leverage in those hips to pull that leg back. So once we get that leg back a little further, then we relax the leg that's on the floor. It can stay bent, but just don't press it into the floor. And hold that leg in what's your max position right now. Now, as you exhale, if that leg comes back further, great. If not, just hold. Then we're going to slowly allow it to lower, guiding it with that strap, but it's not going to get all the way down. We'll get close. And then we're going to walk it back up with that strap, taking it as far as we can get it, holding it on its own. Pulling back a little further before we add the other leg. So now we're going to gently press that other foot into the floor, let those hips tilt and pull that leg back further. And then relax the leg that's on the floor and hold this stretch. With each exhale, maybe coming just a little bit more. Sometimes it'll move if we try. If you try and it doesn't move, then don't force it. Sometimes it will move. And hold. We're going to hold for a few breaths. We're going to slowly let that one go out to the side, guiding it with your strap. Keeping your shoulders down. Remember, the hips are down, shoulders are down. I hate when we run out of music. So bend that knee, bring it in, take the strap off. As you put both feet down, just press your lower back into the floor a couple times, because you always want to reset that back. So that the hips are right underneath you. I'm going to give this some more music. Oops, yeah. Oh yeah, good. Okay. So now that your knees are straight up, go ahead and pull them into your spine. If you want to take your head to your spine, you can, or you can just hold those knees in. But remember, upper body stays relaxed. Then go ahead and take your hands outside your legs, but leave them there. Grab one shin with your two hands and pull it in. So two hands on top of one shin, bringing that in a little closer, dropping the shoulders down to the floor. Then let that leg stay there and switch sides. So take those two hands onto the other shin and pull it back. And as we bring that down, you're going to take the soles of your feet and have them touch each other as we allow those knees to fall out to the side for some butterfly or frog, whichever one you want to be. So take a deep breath, and as you exhale, just think about gently pushing them to the floor. Or if you do want to butterfly them just slightly, that's fine. But then after a while, we're going to stop and hold. Take a deep breath and exhale. And it's just a gentle press, don't force it. But as you're holding those legs down, you can also think about bringing the heels closer to your butt. They might not actually move, but just that thought of moving them towards your butt will bring in the greater stretch. Take those hands overhead. Deep breath as you exhale, bring your hands out to the side. Now gently press your lower back towards the floor. It's not going to make it, but just push it towards there. Straighten up that whole spine. Then bring those legs back up to the top. Lower back gently pressed in. Take those hips to one side to finish where we started. So holding that. And slowly taking it to the other side. And then one more time each way, gently pressing the back into the floor as you transition to one side. And then same thing, gently pressing that lower back into the floor as you transition to the other side. Shoulders are down, but you knew that. And as we return to the top, relax. Pulling those shoulders away from your ears by your side. Squeezing the shoulder blades gently and pressing the head back into the floor slightly. Of course, it should already be aligned from everything else we just did. And relax. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, think of your posture and your abdominals staying firm. And one more time, we will pull those knees into the chest. From here, you have two options to get up. You can go from this position and kick your legs, keeping your head tucked in gently. Or you can roll over. So do whichever one you want, because we are technically done. Yay!